Hello, I'm Rob.
And I'm Rob.
And this is Ask Rob and Rob.
Yes, hello again. Welcome to Ask Rob and Rob, the episode that we do every single week where you ask a question and we answer it. And we've got Jack to thank for this week's question because, well, we thank Jack because we're grateful for every question we receive, but especially because he gives us a chance to talk about our favourite topic. You might be able to guess what that is, but if not, we will reveal all in a minute, just after Rob lets you know how you ask a question of your own.
Well, you can do one or two things. You can pick up your phone and dial 013 808 00035. That's 013 808 00035. Give that a call. You'll get a voicemail. No one will pick up, I promise. Leave a message, or better still, leave a question, and we will hopefully answer it in the not too distant future. Or you can go to thepropertyhub.net/podcast and leave a message that way. It's up to you, but both ways are nice and simple. And that's exactly what Jack has done. He's asked us a cracker of a question.
Hi, Rob. It's Jack here. First of all, thanks so much for everything from the podcast to the Property Hub, to the magazine. It's been a real help on my investment journey. My question today is regarding the 18-year property cycle. I know that you've covered it in the past a few times, but I'd be really interested in your kind of thoughts and sort of things of where we are currently, in terms of maybe different parts of the country, whether London is near it or just experiencing the kind of 7-year mid-cycle dip, whether northern parts of the country are in a growth phase. Just all sort of ideas about where we are right now in terms of that cycle in different parts of the country. That'd be great. Thank you. Speak soon. Bye.
Okay, thank you, Jack. Great question, and very timely at the moment as well, because a lot is happening in the economy. So where are we in the 18-year property cycle? And are different areas of the country at different stages? Well, we are just coming into the midterm wobble. That's where I believe we're at right now. And this midterm wobble might last from anywhere from 6 months to 2 years. It's hard to say. It's not an exact science. But we're going into one, that's for sure. Now, during the wobble, I feel that London property prices southeast may soften a little, possibly a small dip. The north certainly not grow as aggressively as it was, but probably still in positive territory. However, nothing too dramatic. The media might call it a full-blown crash and Armageddon for property, but the data will say otherwise. So be very careful of that. That's key. That's one of the signs of the mid-cycle wobble. The media goes crazy and it influences the main crowd into thinking that we're going into some big property crash when actually it's just a wobble, hence the term wobble, and actually what will follow is far more aggressive growth. Remember, we're already seeing indicators of a mid-cycle wobble, stimulus from the banks, lower interest rates, the Bank of England about to take action as we record this. All these things are typical of a mid-cycle wobble because they don't want to miss the growth and the money they've been making from the first part of the cycle. They want that to continue, but they overdo it, put too much in, and we have a far more aggressive second part of the cycle, which is probably where we're going next.
Yeah, I would say that geographically, you've always got areas that are moving at slightly different speeds, led by different factors. But I'd say that as the UK as a whole, we are sort of synchronized in this mid-cycle wobble. And it's just an issue of where it's the most pronounced. And something that's really striking when you look at it is if you look at a chart of regional house prices, and you look at what's happened over the last 3 years or so in London and in the southeast, the growth is just absolutely amazing. And if you look at different measures of affordability, which is something that we talk about in the current issue of the magazine, it's such a radically different picture in London and the southeast from the rest of the country. Therefore, when there is a wobble, it's got to be that part of the country that's the hardest hit. It just has to be. It can't really be any other way. But then, after that, it is pretty much looking like it's going to be game on, as the cycle suggests, because there are so many factors, such as bank lending, such as the political advantages of pumping up house prices, and many, many other factors that are going to lead to this characteristic aggressive growth. I think for people in London and the southeast, it could be difficult to see that you're going to have this aggressive growth that's predicted, because it kind of looks like you've already had it. And there is the potential, of course, that London is in fact on some cycle of its own, and it's not going to have this aggressive growth. I do actually think that in the second part of the cycle, London will grow, but other parts of the country will grow faster, purely because London has already done so much. But we will wait and see. The key is, as Rob said, not to get spooked by what you're reading, because if you follow the press, you will end up doing exactly pretty much the opposite of what you should be doing in any point of the cycle. And it's really interesting if you buy into this cycle theory, because it does feel like you can just kind of step back from it all and see things a lot more clearly, and you're not kind of caught up in the panic of what's going on day to day, because you can look at the signs, you can see what's happening, you can see things starting to pan out as predicted, and therefore you can't be sure what's going to come next, but you can have a pretty good guess and you can make sure that you're well positioned to act accordingly.
I hope that helps, Jack. I hope that helps everyone. It's a really interesting time at the moment where we are in the economy. However, if you did see a mid-cycle wobble coming, which most of the podcast listeners who've been around with us for a while have done, then you can feel just a lot more relaxed about what's going on. Even when we possibly go into a mini recession in the not too distant future, because we kind of expect it, it's not a disaster, it's not a big thing. Kind of expect it to happen, and when it happens, we can continue to take advantage of it. That's the beauty of looking at cycles and taking action accordingly. So that's us for another week. Thank you to everyone who's joined us. We hope you join us on Thursday for the main property podcast. And of course, we'll be back next Tuesday. But until then, everyone, have fun, take care, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.